Different parts are getting it.
Already had so much snow on the ground.
Yes.
And nobody knows where to put that. Here comes a whole lot more.
We're sort of kind of fighting for space as of right now. Some of these heavier bands come on shore here. A lot of the areas that we are accustomed to kind of seeing the snow piles could actually be overrun. Let's talk about some of the numbers that we have in the forecast here at about 5:17 here on a very busy Monday. Obviously, in the weather world, we're going to be very busy over the next several hours as we're expecting at least a foot of snow across the vast majority of Metro West, including the city, areas in the north, and also areas to the south. Now we actually start to see some of the higher numbers forming there down towards the south shore, nearing about 2 feet of snow. Again, on top of even fresh powder that we received just about 48 hours or so. I posed a question as we went into the break of some of the areas that we may be expecting to get some of those higher snowfall totals. This is the area as of right now. That's mainly down towards the Attleboro region. Once you start to get down towards the Narragansett Bay, down towards the Providence area, this is likely going to be setting up a zone of some really high snowfall rates there. Again, sort of kind of on the higher end, about 3 to 4, maybe about 5 inches per hour. Now, again, I know that is extreme, but again, this is sort of kind of one of those classic blizzards that we see kind of come right at that 40-70 benchmark and really just start to put down on some heftier amounts of snow. We already know from Levin's live shot there down towards the south shore that we have a lot of heavy moisture content with this storm system. That's where some of the heaviest snow bands are going to be raking on shore here. Again, mainly for the south shore. That's when some of the highest snowfall totals are going to be posed. That's why we have that 16 to 24 inch range there as well. We are now beginning to see sort of the mouth open with this storm. Some of those heavier bands are now just to the south of the city down towards Brockton, Plymouth. Again, this is likely going to be limiting visibility for several hours, even through about noon. And obviously you have to factor in how the winds are going to be sort of kind of placing an extra burden. 50, 60, maybe even 70 plus mile per hour gusts. We're talking about very tall snow drifts. So hopefully you got those spikes in the ground. As we start to see some of the winds climb, again, we're going to be cresting around, let's say, mid that 9 a.m. to noon hour later today, and then likely seeing a lot of the energy begin to wane. We're going to also see a lot of the fluffier snow begin to form with those northerly drier winds. Now, again, the coastal flooding concerns are going to be running amok as well. This is going to be going through tomorrow morning, 1 to 3 feet inundation, and obviously some of those shoreline roadways there are very intimate to us all here, but they're also very finite and very small. So again, that's where a lot of water is going to be overrunning. Levin said earlier, again, he can kind of collect a lot of the snow with a lot of that higher moisture content. We're still likely dealing with the forward motion with this storm as it moves farther to the north and east. Again, you can kind of think of it like one of those tropical storms that we forecast in the fall season. This kind of has some of the same properties. The lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. And again, we've talked about bombogenesis here all morning long and also for the past few days. Again, that is a rapid intensification of a storm system. Some of those heavier bands, again, will begin to push offshore there around noon later today. We're going to start to see some of those drier winds move back in. Some of the fluffier snow is going to be compacting there. And I think we're still likely to see some of those heavier bouts of snow. So that's maybe the hour that we start to see some of those 1 to 3 inches sort of kind of top out on the cake there. And look at the winds again as we sort of kind of complete the forecast. Some of those winds are going to be again dying down, but also still remaining relatively high over the next 24 hours, again gusting around 25 to 35 miles per hour. We're remaining in the upper 30s, but again milder considering the past few weeks there. So again, we're going to tolerate this 7-day forecast, guys, for now.